Here at McShin, we believe in the McShin way, which is authentic recovery support service providers, people with lived experience, bringing that experience to those who need that lived experience in recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in many things to support our mission. We believe in women empowerment.
What I love most about what we believe here at McShin is we believe in the authenticity of the peer-to-peer approach.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in giving people opportunity.
Here at McShin, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
At the McShin Foundation, we believe in helping people reach their full potential.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in multiple pathways to recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in placing principles before personalities to help spread hope.
Here at McShin, we believe that recovery is possible and that any person seeking recovery can become a more acceptable, responsible, and productive member of society.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in self-discovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in saving lives and offering second chances.
Here at McShin, we believe you can do this.
Here at McShin Foundation, we believe that we can only keep what we have by giving away, which is why we continue to help others like us seek and find recovery.
Look, this is history-making, trend-setting stuff here, okay? How we handle it, how we act is how it's going to predict the future of this kind of stuff. You with me? That sheriff going out on a limb to make sure we get quality messaging. You follow me? So we got to work as a team tonight, gang. Time count? Huh? We're up? Live? Are you sure? Don't lie to me now. Sound good? All right, folks, John Shenholzer from the McShin Foundation coming to you live from Henrico County Jail East in New Kent County. Can I get a hoot? Come on now, y'all got to be excited about this. Before we get too far in tonight's program, I want to just take a moment and thank Sheriff Gregory for allowing us to come down here and give us an official, warm sheriff welcome to a presentation that y'all getting ready to see tonight. Big hand for the sheriff.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm excited about an opportunity to be able to not only bring in information for us to digest and share, but also to share it with the world. You know, people really don't have any idea about what's going on and the work that we're putting in here behind these walls. And so I'm excited about an opportunity to be able to share with people the work that we are doing here. So thank you for being a part. We're gonna utilize you to make this the best that it can be, because this is a team effort. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you so much for letting us in here tonight. You know, just so y'all know, I'm a person in long-term recovery from substance use disorders. For me, that means I've been clean and sober over 40 years. August 10th, 1982 was my introduction to recovery, and so far, so good. And for us, the McShin Foundation, to come down here and do this presentation, you know, we volunteer in doing this. I drive 90 miles round trip on my night off to bring y'all this presentation. I do that from my heart because I have had a spiritual awakening as a result of my recovery. You know, tonight, by the time we get done, I promise you, you will hear a message from hope, from the disease of addiction. You will hear one of promise, one of freedom. So, and we plan on doing this, weekly. We got the green light, all right? But the dream don't work without the team. I got a teammate on this. Good friend of mine. He's a board member of the McShin Foundation. Been clean 34 years. Sat in the same seats y'all sat in 34 years ago, 35 years ago. You'll probably hear from him either next week or the week after to tell the story. But he's going to be co-hosting and co-sharing the problems. But I want to introduce Marshall Tucker to y'all and let him say hello to y'all.
My name is Marshall Tucker, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. When I came through those doors, man, it generated some feelings because that same seat that you sitting in, I was sitting there 34 years ago. Same thoughts that you having now, I was having those 34 years ago. That's why we decided to bring the program that we bring in here, because your vision is not what you think it is. Why I say that? Because my vision wasn't what I thought it was. I never did see 34 years, 2 or 3 homes, a wife, kids. I got 2 kids that are lawyers. I could have not scripted that. I would have sold myself short. That's why I'm an advocate for recovery, because I don't know. You don't know, And man, that's why we're going to bring a program here that's going to be top level program. Hopefully, we're going to bring speakers from all over the world. Hopefully, you'll hear something. We don't know what you might hear. You might not hear nothing tonight, but keep coming back. You will eventually hear something. Thank you. I'm John's co-host. You know what I'm saying? I'm the co-host. When he's not here, I'll be here.
Now, I want to remind y'all and the people watching out there in Never Ever Land that I've already got 9 different speakers lined up from around the country that when they're in Virginia, they're going to make it their business to stop by here and come down here and share with y'all. The opinions expressed by our speakers are just that. The opinion of the speaker is not necessarily the jail's opinion or the foundation's opinion, because truth is, once you bring somebody up here and they got the mic, I can't control what they say. But I do know these people, and I know they got a good heart. Now, if you're watching this, McShin is a charity, and we do appreciate contributions and donations to cover our costs to come in here. So if you feel inspired by what we're doing here, feel free to go to our webpage, McShin.org, hit that old donate button, and if some of y'all like what you're hearing, and next time you write home to mama and daddy, just remind them of us. And when Cricket comes up and talk, I know he's going to invite you to reentry. He's going to invite you to the McShin Foundation Recovery Center, open 365 days a year. He's going to invite you to come live in our reentry houses, our sober homes. He's even going to make it possible, if you don't have the resources, we give anybody a couple weeks just to get their head right and decide whether or not they want a trip to the healing place or try to launch in their recovery. And some of y'all been to McShin. You know who we are and what we're about. You know we're for real about our recovery. We got plenty of time tonight, so there ain't no rush on things. But the speaker, I met this speaker a few years back when we carried a program up at McShin Jail. And this little guy was always on the front row bobbing up and down. He was very well known in jail, kind of maybe what he did for side money while he was there. But he was very, very inspirational. He followed instructions. He grew up in McShin Jail. I think he might have been one of their first inmates and lived there off and on for 15 years. But he finally found recovery. He came through McShin. He got his life straight. He had a couple one hiccup that I know of, but he's going like gangbusters right now. He's been clean many years now, 4 or 5, I think. I ain't exactly sure. But he's actually in charge of our criminal justice program at McShin right now. He carries the message in 3 different facilities. He facilitated a federal grant for us, a 3-year, $500,000 grant. I mean, the man's a beast in recovery. I ain't going to tell the story. I'm going to let him come up here and tell it. And when we get done, we'll have time for question and answers afterwards. But when we get into question and answers, we don't want to hear about how you got jammed up by accident, or you got framed, or you got a bad lawyer. We want our questions to be centered around recovery and reentry and how we can help. But how about a big warm welcome for our friend Cricket?
I was sitting over here. Listen, I'm thinking, man, he'd have told my story. What they bring me up here for? But my name is Cricket. I know that's a weird name, man. My mom, she's a little different. I recognize some of y'all's faces, man. And like you said, you know, some of y'all I know from McShin. Some of y'all know because I done did time with you. But I'm a person in sustained recovery from a substance use disorder. And that means a couple things to me. First of all, like I hear the terms like substance use disorder, and I got to simplify that for me to make sense of it, because that's just a little bit too big for me to grasp the true meaning of it. Basically, what substance use disorder means to me is really simple. If I put substances in me, my life's going to get disorderly. And I mean, sometimes immediately, but always in the end. If I put substances in me, it don't matter what substance it is, man, eventually I end up back in misery. I end up back in blues or stripes and Jackie Chan's Velcro shoes, waiting on canteen that I know I ain't, waiting on a holiday pack I know ain't nobody order for me. You know, that's what my end result always look like. Now I'm in recovery from that illness. And what that means for me is that I was shown a way out. I have learned how to fight the urge. I've learned how to beat the cravings and process through so that I don't put those substances in me to avoid that disorderliness that they give me. Make sense? Sustained. I'm in sustained recovery. That means that over 5.5 years now, I ain't found it necessary to put any substances in me. Now, don't get it twisted. That don't mean I ain't wanted to. That does not mean I have forgot how much I like putting substances into my body. I have not forgotten. I ran away when I was 14 and I started using and drinking, smoking cigarettes, stealing people's stuff, doing whatever I could, you know. And I did it for a long time, man. And I ain't forgot how much I like some of that stuff. So I'll be honest with y'all, man. Y'all see me wringing my hands and stuff. I'm a little nervous. And I ain't nervous because I'm in here, because I've been in here my whole life. I ain't nervous because I'm talking in front of a bunch of people, because I've been doing that for years. And I'll tell you, man, this program right here taught me how to get up in front of a room full of people. Y'all still got that group Talk Out Loud? Yeah, this day, Talk Out Loud was the first time I ever got up in front of a group of people and talked. The first time ever. And now I do it for a living. It's crazy. So I ain't nervous about neither one of them things. I'm nervous because we live. And just because I ain't smoked no crack, did no dope, smoked no weed, or stole nobody's stuff in 5.5 years, like I've done that perfectly. I ain't got the best mouth. Like I cuss a lot, man. So I'm nervous about talking without cussing because I don't really know how to do that. But it's my goal. And so far, I got a pretty good track record of reaching goals that I set for myself. Don't beat me up if I cuss, man. I ain't perfect. So like John asked me to come in here, man, and be his, you know, first guest speaker for this. And of course I said, yeah. But I was thinking like, what, he ain't tell me what to talk about or nothing. And I was thinking like, when I was in there, what did I like listen to the most? Because I'll be honest with y'all, man, I was in this program right here 6, 7, 8 times. I don't know. I've been in this program right here a lot. And yeah, I'll be honest with y'all, I signed up for the program 100% of however many times it been to get out of West. Like I wanted to come over here where there was carpet, and back in the day they had VCR players. Y'all still got VCR players, are they? Yeah, but yeah. See, don't nobody in America got VCR players except for the RISE program. I mean, literally nowhere, Walmart, nowhere. But you know, I signed up over here, man, because I didn't want to be over there. Like I wanted to be able to walk to the chow. I signed up for all the wrong reasons. I ain't gonna lie. I did not drive all the way up here to lie. I ain't gonna do it. And I was mostly going through the motions while I was in here. Now I heard some stuff. I learned some stuff. I did. Some of the stories that people was coming in and telling, like I was rooting for them. It inspired me a little bit. But anything I learned for however long I was in here, I ain't applied none of it when I got on the street, man. I ain't applied none of it when I got on the street. So he asked me to speak, and I'm thinking, man, what I did listen to and what I did like to hear when people were coming in was they just come in and keep it real, man. It's all right if I just keep it real. All right. And you know, I like it when they tell a story, man. I like to know that when somebody's up in front of me trying to teach me about how to live or whatnot, I need to know that they've been where I've been, right? I just ain't never been one to respond well to somebody that ain't been in my shoes before. I learn from them, but I don't really give them much credibility. That makes sense? So I ran away at 14, man. I ran away at 14, and I ain't have no bad family. I mean, I really didn't. I mean, I thought I did at the time, but I really didn't. I had a split family. My mom and dad divorced when I was a kid. I ended up living with my dad and my stepmom, and we got into a real petty argument, me and my stepmom, and it ended up being one of those things where I can't wait till your daddy gets here, and daddy got there, and I said some things to my parents that I don't think a kid should ever say to their parents, and my parents said some things to me I don't think any parent should ever say to their kids, man, and it was bad. And I was mad, right? And I took all of my books out of my book bag. I'm 14, man. I'm just a baby, for real. I took all my books out of my book bag and I loaded it with socks and underwear, and I ran away, man. I just dipped. Now, 14 years old, man, in the state of Virginia, I wasn't old enough to get a job. Back then, I don't know what it's like now, man, because I ain't nowhere near 14 no more. But back then, you had to be 15 with a worker's permit to get a job. Y'all think it's still like that? And see, you can't even get a worker's permit unless you got parents to sign for you to get a worker's permit. I wasn't 15 and I ain't have no parents. I dipped on them. And looking back, man, that one decision, man, changed my whole trajectory for the next couple of decades, man, because when I left, man, I was so mad at them. I rebelled against most things they tried to instill in me. Don't drink till you're 21. Cigarettes will kill you. Don't do drugs. They're bad. You know, all that stuff that, you know, we try to like instill in our kids, or some of us do. And I bucked. I was so mad at them that I bucked on them that day. And I don't know, I'm a kid, man, so I don't really know nothing about nothing. I mean, I'm green as grass. I really am. But I remember back in the day, they had these advertisements, man. And I remember this one was catchy, smooth gin in the bumpy bottle, right? I didn't even know what it was called, Seagram's. I know what it's called now. But that was his slogan. And I saw this old head outside the liquor store, and I had some money because I was saving up my lunch money. And, you know, I asked him, would he get me something? He got me something, and I drank it. And I mean, within minutes, I knew two things. I liked it. I liked that it numbed those feelings that I was experiencing at the time, which I thought were mostly anger. You know, in hindsight, I've done a lot of work on cricket, and I've learned that it really wasn't anger. It was hurt, and it was fear. That's what it really was. But I those two things I noticed. One, I liked it. Two, they were wrong. My parents were wrong. And if they were wrong about this, because they said this was bad for you, if they was wrong about this, they probably wrong about all that other stuff they said don't do. Make a long story short, man, I wanted to numb those feelings so much, man, I just kept drinking. I drank till I puked, then I pass out. And then I wake up, remember how good it felt before I puked and pass out, do it again. And I did that for a couple weeks, man. And up until that point, I was almost a straight A student in school. Like I got perfect attendance every year. And it won't because I'm smart. It won't because I'm an overachiever. That's not what was going on. I was doing that shit because I wanted to be loved, man. I wanted to get all the attention. I had an older brother that he didn't get good grades, and he'll miss school. He'll be sick or he'll skip school. And it used to disappoint them. So I wanted to like do things so that I could get acceptance and attention and all that stuff, man. But when I ran away and I started drinking, I didn't go to school for a couple weeks because I had something else that was more important to me, man. I had that get high. Raise your hand if you remember that first time you did a mood or mind altering substance. I remember it. Look, dude, I remember like it was yesterday. I started experimenting with other stuff, man. Everything I tried, I liked. You know, man, that don't steal people's stuff, man. I bucked on that immediately too because I'm 14, man. I ain't old enough to get a job. I gotta eat. I gotta get clothes. I'm still growing, man. I'm 14. I'm still growing. I gotta get clothes. I gotta eat. I start stealing that stuff. 3 weeks after I run away, I get arrested for the first time, possession. A week later, I get arrested again, 2 charges, possession and petty larceny, man. I got caught stealing. I got caught stealing for the first time. I was stealing Phillies blunts. And I don't even like blunts. I didn't like them then. I didn't like them the last time I smoked. I just don't like blunts. I don't like the way they taste. But I was running around with some older kids that said, man, I wish we had somebody old enough to go in there and get some blunts. And back in the day, they used to have a whole tobacco aisle in the CVS. Remember, they ain't keep it behind the gate. They had a whole aisle. And I said, ain't they got a whole aisle in there? Got blunts on it. And they said, yeah. I said, man, I'll get them. I'll get them. You ain't gonna get them. I said, I don't get them. I'll get some blunts. And I go in there and I get them, man. I'm still 14. I'm a baby, man. I go in there and I steal the blunts, put them in my little pants right here, and get yoked up. Yoke me up at the door. Come here, man. Where you going with my blunts? Where you going? Give me my cigars, man. I got hit, man. I ain't been gone a month. I ain't been gone a month. I done been arrested. I got 3 charges, man. I learned something quick, man, that I liked being accepted. I liked all the substances that I was experimenting with. I liked the adrenaline rush. I liked all that stuff, man, despite the fact that I knew that there was probably negative consequences coming with it. Every time I stole something, I knew I was tossing a coin. Heads, I get away. Tails, they catch me. And I liked it, something about it. I liked it. Next thing you know, man, I realized that I like it. I like those things more than I like damn near anything else. So I start like doing whatever I got to do to get them. Man, I done been arrested twice already, man. If I go in here stealing again, man, and they get me, they gonna tax me. I'm gonna do it anyway. There's something in my brain, man, that tells me, go get more, or go do that again, even though you know it's wrong. And we'll cross that bridge. If you got consequences coming, if you land on heads for consequence, hey, we'll cross that bridge when you get there. But for now, do it. And something in me to just, I don't know, man. I just do it. I just do it. Most of the time, the things I do, man, to get more, be illegal. Most of the time, the things I do to get more, be immoral. They go against my morals, man. They go against my core values. But it's something in my head, Marshall, that just tells me, do it anyway. Do it anyway. As a result, man, I got arrested a lot. Man. That jail he was talking about, they opened up a week after I turned 18, man. It's literally a half a mile from my mama's house. And, you know, I've been getting locked up there and everywhere else in the state, you know, since then, man. It's messed up. So, I mean, I experimented with any kind of substance that came my way, man. It really ain't a whole lot that I ain't done, man. And it really ain't a whole lot that I didn't like something about. But from 18 to 35, I stayed in jail or prison. And and I know this to be true, as a direct result from whatever this voice in my head that tells me to get more despite adverse consequences, whatever that voice is, as a direct result from having that voice, for whatever reason, I've been incarcerated 64 times. And I know that sounds like a made up number. And to me, it sounds like it's a little bit too much. I thought it was about 40 or 50. I know I've been locked up a lot. But the reason I know how many exactly it is, because before they allow me to walk in here and walk out again, they do a thorough criminal check on me, man. Kind of shocked me a little bit, Brandon, when I knew the actual count. 64 times, man. From the time I was 18, I'm still a baby, man. Anybody here 18? I ain't calling you a baby, man. I'm not. I want to clear that up right now. I ain't calling you a baby. You're a full-grown man. But when I was 18, I was a baby, man. I was a baby. And I grew up quick, man. I grew up quick because the people I was locked up with make sure I did. You know, I couldn't be a baby no more, man. I'm in big boy jail. I ain't in juvie. I ain't in timeout. I ain't in detention. You want to know something, man? Every single time that I got released, 63 of those 64 times that I was incarcerated, I got out and I did the same thing that I've always done. Anybody got any idea what that was? Man, I got out and I did me. That's exactly what I did. I got out and I did me. I did things my way. And it had dawned on me yet that my way sucks. That doing things my way ain't never really worked for me historically. Like that I had been doing things my way for so long, and I kept on getting results that I won't okay with no more. My results always ended up with broke, sick, going against my morals, wearing blues and Jackie Chan's. No, I got to see the PO on Thursday. Why am I pushing the stem again? It's Tuesday night. Why? My results, man, they always look like having a call collect and asking another man to teach my sons how to stand up and pee. That's the kind of results that I've always got from doing stuff my way. And every time I got out, that's immediately what I did upon release. Ronquest, B&B. I bet. As soon as I get out there, I just, by default, go back to doing things my way. I always ended up getting something similar to the same results, man. I tell you, man. And then the last time I was locked up ever in life, last time I was ever locked up ever in life, I had just got done doing a year or 10 months, 12 days, whatever you do on a year. And I was locked up for that year, man. And that year that I was down, and I've done a couple years at a time before, but that year I was down, I made all these plans. Am I the only one that makes plans when we locked up? I made all these plans. My boys at the time, I got twin boys, and they were going to be 5 years old when I got out. And I had plans, man. My baby's going to be 5. They big enough to ride the Scooby-Doo at Kings Dominion, and I'm going to take them. And I'm going to ride, I'm going to get my ass on there with them. I'm going to ride the Scooby-Doo with my babies. And I'm going to take them fishing. I'm going to do some daddy stuff with them. I had this girl that was real faithful and loyal. I had all these romantic plans I was going to do with her. I got out, man. I did the same thing I've always done. I got out, I did me. And next thing you know, 30 exact days later, man, I'm laying back in intake. I'm back in intake. I ain't make it on the street 31 days. 30 days after my release, I'm back in intake. And I'm back on this slab. And I'm laying on the slab and I'm trying to count the same dots on the ceiling that I've been trying to count since they opened it in 1998. And I'm hating cricket. I don't know what's wrong. What is wrong? How am I back in here? You know, I mean, plans I followed through on. Nah, I didn't even drive out there and hug my children, man. Much less take them to Kings Dominion or fishing. I ain't even drive out there to hug my babies the whole 30 days that I was free. That girl, man, I loved her, man. I wanted to do right by her, man, but I got out. Well, instead of all these romantic things that I wanted to give her, I gave her the same thing that I've given everybody since I started using drugs. I lied to her. I hid stuff from her. I snuck. Nah, baby, I ain't getting high. You know I ain't getting high. And people promised me 5 years if I got high. Why would I do that? High as hell. The whole time I'm telling her. And I'm I'm on that slab, man. And I'm thinking about all these people. You know, I'll tell y'all, man, this is me keeping it real. I'm gonna tell y'all how messed up I am. I'm gonna tell you how selfish and self-centered I am. I'm laying on that slab and I'm thinking about all these people I went to school with and grew up with. And they living the dream. And I mean, some of them married to their same high school sweetheart. And they raising their kids together. Some of them own businesses. Some of them got multiple vehicles. One dude actually has a real life white picket fence. And I'm laying in there and I'm hating on him. I'm mad at him. I'm just mad at him. I'm jealous. And I'm laying there and I'm hating on him so much, I'm thinking to myself, why they get to live like that? Why they ain't never been locked up? I done got high with some of them. I stole dirt bikes with some of them. Why am I the one that grew up in jail? Why are they living these lives, man? I was smarter than them in school. I was cooler than them. Tell myself that anyway. What's the difference? What is the difference between me and them? How are they able to do it so good, man? And look, I ain't want to die. I ain't going to sit here and act like I wanted to die because I'm too scared for any of that. But I laid in that cell, man, and I ain't want to live. Like, I ain't want to keep going like that. Sheriff, I ain't want to die, but I didn't want to keep going like I was going. I called my damn self Can't Get Right. Y'all seen that movie, Martin Lawrence? Yeah, life can't get right. I convinced myself that's who I was. I can't get right. I just can't do it. I self-talked myself into believing that I was a failure. I self-talked myself into believing that I screwed everything up I ever touched. I self-talked myself into believing I would never change, man. And I would go to my families, man, and they didn't invite me around much. But when it was like a major holiday, they feel obligated to invite me. And I mean, I'd go over there, man, but whenever I never got there on time because I was busy. Y'all feel what I'm saying? I had priorities. I had to do me. And then after I got done doing me, I'd get there. Most time I would use those holidays for an opportunity to try to make somebody feel sorry for me, give me some money. But every time I came, I hear them in the other room. Hey, Cricket's here. Put your pocketbook up. Cricket's here. Here it come. And I used to walk around. When I hear them say stuff like that, I walk around and I bust in the song. Might as well face it, I'm addicted to drugs. That's true. I did that for years, man. I had to self-talk myself into accepting that I was always going to be high. I was either going to die from an overdose. I was either going to die from a robbery gone bad, or I was either going to die doing life in jail or prison. I had accepted it. And I had accepted it so much so that I tried to get them to just accept it too. Just accept it. If you don't want me here, stop inviting me. If you don't want me burning your blankets up, stop buying new blankets. I'm going to burn them. If you don't want me stealing the spoons, buy plastic. That's how I was for years. And I'm in that cell, man, and I don't want to keep going like this, man. I don't want to keep going like this. Because I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I'm back in here, Brandon. I ain't been on the street 30 days. And that judge promised me, Cricket, I'm going to give you a year, but if I see you in my courtroom within the next 5 years, I promise you 5 of the 19 is over your head. Y'all ever had a judge promise you something? I was inclined to believe him, man. And yet, like I was inclined to believe him. And yet, when I got out, I still did the same stuff. What is wrong, man? What is wrong with me? It's the thought process I'm having in that jail cell in intake. Captain comes through, man. A couple days after I get in there, I ain't as sick as I was when I first got there, but the captain comes through. She said, you know, Cricket, I see you back again. I said, yes, ma'am. She was a saint. I wasn't the best, most respectful inmate to most COs, but I always respected her because she was real sweet, right? It was an older lady. She kind of ran the jail at the time. And I respected her, man. I yes ma'am'd her, and I did whatever she asked me to do. And she said, Cricket, I see you back again. I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, hey, you know, she said, I just want to put a bug in your ear. McShin Foundation, they fixing to come in here in a couple months and start a drug program. You ought to think about signing up for it. And I said, okay, thank you, ma'am. I'll think about it. And as soon as she walked away, I think, shit, I ain't signing up for no drug program. For what? Why am I gonna sign up for that? That jail don't got no carpet in that drug program. That jail don't got no boulevard in their drug program. I'm not signing up for no drug program. Why? It's no help. It's no hope. Can't nobody fix me. I'm damaged. Because I had self-talk myself into believing that mess. Y'all hear me, man? I believed it wholeheartedly. And then I get back in the pod, man, the general population. It's 18-hour lockdown. Anybody ever been locked up in that particular jail? It's 18-hour lockdown, general population there, man. And I'm laying back there, and I'm over it. And I got a cellmate that farts and snores. And I'm over that. And rumors start going around. You know how we do. Rumors start going around about this program that's going to start in a couple months. You know, they'll say things like, hey, man, you know, hey, I heard that drug program, they're going to get people in the program donuts. They're going to bring donuts up in there, man. And I'm thinking, Lord, man, here we go. Wolf tickets, right? We still call them wolf tickets. Ice cream tickets, man. Hey, you know, I heard the McShin people, man, that's in that drug program, man, I heard they're going to get them coffee. And, you know, back in the day, for Monkey was a zero coffee. Like, there won't no coffee sold, won't no coffee served. There was no coffee allowed, man. I'm thinking, Lord, man, y'all terrible. Hey, man, I heard them people that's going to be in that drug program, man, they're going to get good time, man. Jail going to give them good time just for being in the program. Thinking, man, they don't give me no good time because they can light me up when I go to court. They're going to ship me. They can't wait to put me back on the yard somewhere. Then I heard, hey, man, you know, man, I heard that they're going to give you a letter like McShin. They'll McShin on a letter with their name at the top, McShin Foundation. They're going to write a letter, man. You can take to court. And it probably look good on you in court if you go. Y'all ever got a letter from Rise program? I used to get them every phase when I was here. Yeah. And I don't pay no attention to none of that because I grew up in jail and prison. I'm immune to the rumor mill. These are the same people telling me about donuts and coffee, the same people been telling me about parole being reinstated since 1998. They won't fight over it. I'm telling you, they reinstated it this year. Since 1998, that argument has been going on. And then something hit me, man. Somebody said, hey, man, you know, they're going to put that drug program in an open dorm, no lockdown. Yep, hold up. Wait, Okay, where's the list at? I'll sign up for that because I'm over this cellmate and I'm over this 18-hour lockdown. And I get in there, man, and they move us in there, man. They move us in there a couple weeks before they start the program. December the 14th, they moved us into this pod. It's an open door. And what they did was they took 5 or 6 out of this pod, 5 or 6 out of that pod, 5 or 6 out of that pod. It was a 30-man pod in this open dorm, bunk beds. And, you know, man, jail politics, man, so messed up because, like, it was 4 or 5 different pods in there, you know, all just thrown in there into this one pod, right? So you got some people in G pod that's ready to beat up some people that's in F pod, and somebody in L pod slept with somebody in K pod's wife, and you know, it's all that. So, you know, when we first get in there, we with our troop, F pod, we F pod. Don't mess with them. Don't mess with them. You already know they ain't about nothing. We F pod. The jail's smarter than we were, though. Because you want to know what happens right after they moved us in there. December the 14th, they moved us in that pod. The program won't schedule to start till January 5th. And some really cool stuff. I think it's cool now. I ain't think it was cool then. Plus, a couple big events happened between December 14th and January 5th. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Christmas, New Year's. How many of y'all ever been locked up for Christmas, man? Or a birthday or something like that? Hey, man, look, my heart goes out to you. I've been there, man. I've missed a lot of Christmases. I've missed a lot of New Year's. I've missed a lot of birthdays. And I'm telling you, man, I feel lonely. I feel empty, man. And I feel regret and I feel remorse. And you know, it's a tough time for me during those big holidays like that. The jail ain't rookies, man. They know it. They know it's a tough time for people like us during those major holidays. The craziest thing happened, man. Those first couple days were a little rough because people was going in the back shower and fighting, and, you know, doing all that stuff, you know, and still talking about what CO can we get to bring some cigarettes in here, all the stuff that we've always done. But the closer we got to them holidays, the more vulnerable we got, and the more we picked up on that with each other. Next thing you know, people from G-Pod was checking in on people in F-Pod. Hey, man, come on, walk a few laps with me, man. Hey, we got some extra food. Come over here and eat. And in January 5th, when McShin walked in that door, we won't F, G, K, L. We won't none of that. We were L unit. We were a pod. We were a unit, man. And I mean, we got along pretty good, man. We just, you know, holidays are traumatic for people like us, man. And we had just made it through the holidays together as a team. We started getting excited, man. First of all, I wanted to know, was they gonna bring some donuts and some coffee in? I wanted to know that, because if you do that, like, you done really showed me something. Because I've been locked up my whole life and I ain't never had a donut. I ain't never seen nobody roll a cart with Krispy Kreme in. So if y'all pull that off, y'all got my attention. They came in, man. They came in. A couple days later, they bought some donuts, man. They came in with a carafe full of what they call coffee. It was probably chicory, but I mean, hey, you know, at least they brought us more than we had, you know? And I'm thinking, damn, that's all right. One of the rumors was, hey, they're going to buy a big screen TV mounted on the wall. They're going to put a DVD player on. They're going to rent Redbox for us twice a week. And we get into the pod, sure, and there's a big screen TV on the wall with a DVD player on it and the remote. It's right there with the batteries in it. Ain't none of us take the batteries to make a tattoo gun. So, I mean, we was amped up. Oh, there's the TV right there, man. They trusting us with these batteries. I wonder what else is true about this program, man. January 5th, they came in, man, and we was all ears. We were sitting in our seats. Now, ain't all of us want to be there. Most of us won't in there for the right reason. I won't. I was there to see what lies was being told in the back. I was there to get out of my cell with a snore and a farter. Like, that's why I was there. I like Redbox too, man. I'm thinking, man, I like Redbox. I like watching movies and stuff. That's why I was there. And then they came in, man. And they started telling their stories based on their experience, their strength, and their hope. Right? And I picked up on something almost immediately. Like, you see, I'm a childhood runaway, man, and I grew up in jail and prison. And when I was a baby, when I was 18, that first time I got locked up, man, these old heads told me. They said, look, man, to be aware is to be alive. Huh? What? Y'all ever heard that? They said, look, man, to be aware is to be alive. Good. I'm fucking proud of the people that told you that, because it helped me my whole career. And it helps me to this day in my recovery too, man. Be aware is to be alive, man. So I started being aware. I watch people for a hobby. And I'm pretty good at detecting when somebody's selling wolf tickets or not. And these people was coming in and telling their stories, and I wasn't detecting no bullshit, man. Like, they were coming in and they were keeping it real with us. And I could tell, man, from their stories, man, that they had experienced a lot of the same stuff that I had experienced. In other words, they had been in my shoes, man. Like, these people was coming in, they had been in my shoes before. They knew what it was like. They knew what it was like to be locked up. They knew what it was like to have burnt all their bridges the way that people don't send them commissary no money, no more. They knew what it was like to have to ask another man, can I wash your shirt, man, so I can eat with y'all tonight? Huh? They was coming in, Connor, and I could tell they won't lie. Like, they was not selling wolf tickets to us. Brandon, they were being real. And they kept on bringing new people in, man, and they kept on telling their stories. And I remember sitting there, man, and I was like proud of these people, man. I was like rooting for them. Like, I was rooting for them, sure enough. Like, damn, man, that's all right, man. It's inspirational story, man. But I sat on that back row. When we started, I sat on that back row, far right. I sat as far away from the facilitator as I could, man, because I was there for the donuts. And I remember, man, like, I was so, like, inspired by them, and I was so, like, proud. Sure enough, I was congratulating them silently. I won't congratulate them in front of y'all, because I had a reputation I had to uphold. Look at me. What kind of fake reputation did I have, man? I had a reputation to worry about. I ain't want nobody here to think I'm soft. I'm soft. Newsflash, I am. I'm soft. As 1,400 thread count Egyptian cotton, I'm soft. That's me. I'm soft. I really am. And I'm strong enough to say that to y'all today. But back then, I didn't want y'all to think I was soft, so I ain't participating in no group. I ain't congratulate the speakers. I ain't even thank them. Because I don't want y'all to think I'm no teacher's pet. I don't want y'all to think I'm soft. And they kept coming. And they kept telling their stories, and they kept teaching us stuff. And I started learning some stuff about this voice I got in my head. I started learning some stuff about this voice I got in my head. And I learned that it's an illness, man. Some people call it the disease of addiction. Some people call it the mental illness, some substance use disorder. I don't care what it's called. I just know when they're telling me about theirs, I can identify with it, man. I got that same voice these people is talking about. And they kept teaching us about this disease, man. And then they eased into teaching us how to recover from it. See, they said that a long time ago, and I don't want to quote the year and be wrong, but I'm guessing they said somewhere around 1956. The American Medical Association and the Center for Disease Control deemed what I have as a disease, right? And many years later, they deemed it also as a mental health disorder. But they were able to identify what I have as a disease, and they compared it a lot to diabetes. Y'all know anybody got diabetes? Diabetes it's a serious illness. And diabetes is chronic, it's progressive, it's incurable, and it can be fatal if left untreated right. Now, I know that much about diabetes. I'll tell you why. My best friend ever died from diabetes at the age of 42. They said this thing I got, this voice I got, this illness, disease, whatever, disorder, whatever, I don't care what you call it, but they said this voice I got is a lot like diabetes. It's chronic. It's progressive. It gets worse over time. It's incurable. Hey, look, once I got it, I'm probably always gonna have it. And it's fatal if left untreated. Y'all know anybody that's ever died from drugs, alcohol? Me too, man. They say if left untreated, right? And it's the same thing for diabetes. If left untreated, it's progressive, incurable, and fatal. If left untreated. So my friend had died. He got diagnosed with diabetes, right? And they said, all right, look, you got diabetes. It's okay though, because as long as you treat it like we tell you to treat it, you'll suffer minimal symptoms. They said, all you got to do, exercise a little bit, change your diet up some. Do those things, we'll keep an eye on them. But if you do those things, we'll be able to arrest your disease and you'll suffer minimal symptoms. And he ain't do that. He wasn't about to do no exercises, and he liked Twinkies. He liked laying in the bed at night and eating Twinkies. A couple months go by, man, they get him back in front of the doctor. The doctor said, your disease progressed. You must not have done what we told you to do. Now you got to take this pill. You got to take a pill. You got to take like a pill for diabetes once a day. You got to take this pill every day. If you take this pill every day, chances are great you'll be able to arrest your disease and you'll suffer minimal symptoms. He took the pill, man, mostly because he had his old lady on him. Take the pill, take the pill. And he took the pill, you know, for a while, but then he don't really experience many symptoms, so he don't really believe he needs to do it their way, you know? He's thinking, all right, man, I'll just take it whenever I want or not at all. And then they called him back in front of the doctor, man. He started getting sick. Doctor said, man, your disease has progressed. You must not have did it the way we said do it. Now you got to take these shots. And it progressed on him. Like it went from, look, dude, all you got to do is exercise, stop eating Twinkies at night, to take this pill once a day and everything will be all right. And it progressed quick to, all right, look, you got 2 different kinds of insulin. You got to take 3 shots a day. In between them 3 shots, you got to take this device right here, prick yourself and check your sugar all day long. And when it gets over a certain amount, you got to take another shot. He took it like that for a little while. And then he started taking it his way. He started treating his disease his way. And it progressed. And I remember the first time they took a toe from my homeboy, they cut his big toe off. And then I remember he started having like open sores on his leg. And next thing you know, man, his wife called me and said, man, Lee is in the bed dead. He's dead. Cause of death, diabetic coma. That's a serious illness, man. Now, this is true. I know another guy that was 90-something. 90-something years old when he died. Dude was 90-something years old. He had kids, grandkids, great. He had a whole family that he lived around long enough to see. The dude was diagnosed with diabetes when he was 13. He lived 90-something. And all the way up until the time he died, he cut his own grass. And you know them old heads ain't using no ride mower. I ride by his house and he cutting his grass. Oh, like 90. Out there cutting his grass with a push mower. He lived a full life. He suffered minimal symptoms. He treated his illness effectively. He treated his illness the way the people that knew how to treat it the best told him to do it. As a result, it didn't progress. It wasn't fatal. He did not die from diabetes. Here I got this thing that they say is a lot like diabetes. They said, man, I got bad news. McShin came in, they said, I got bad news. They said, man, if you got this thing, man, it's progressive, it's chronic, it's incurable, and it's fatal if left untreated. However, if treated effectively, we might be able to arrest this thing and you'll suffer minimal symptoms as a result. Hey, when they said that, man, I bought into it because I'm tired of the symptoms. I'm tired of the symptoms. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of my mom and them not letting me come over. I'm tired of not being able to call nobody from these phones right here because I don't burn them years ago. I'm tired of wearing these same uniforms, man, that I've been wearing since I was a baby, that 1,000 other people done wore before me. Tired. Those I recognize as the symptoms of my illness. I bit in. Remember? I bit in. Something they said, man, grabbed my attention. All of a sudden, I found the courage to tell one of them, hey, man, thank y'all for coming in here, man. Thank y'all for coming in here and telling y'all stories, man, because I'm proud of y'all, man. Y'all are inspiring. Shame I can't do it. And the dude looked me in my eye and he said, what do you mean? Like, bro, you can do it. Like, you can do it. You just can't do it your way. You're treating your illness ineffectively. You're doing it your way, and you're not an expert. You don't know how to treat your illness. He said, look here, man, do it our way. They said, if you're tired of the results that you've been getting from doing things your way, which I was, undoubtedly. He said, man, if you're tired of the results, get out your way for a little bit and try it our way. You're going to like the results better. And see, I think I got all the sense. But I ain't got nothing but time, because I know this judge getting ready to give me 5. So I got nothing but time, man. So I said, all right. They said, try it for 30 days. Do it our way. Treat your illness the way we tell you to treat it for 30 days and just see, do you like the results better? And I'm going to prove them wrong, because I got all the sense. I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to do it their way. I'm going to show up for group. I'm going to participate in group. I'm going to make my bed. I'm going to do all the little rules that they had a lot of rules, didn't they? I'm going to do all the little rules. I'm going to do it their way to the T, just so after that 30 days, I can see, told you. I had self-talked myself into believing that I wasn't going to change. I had self-talked myself into believing that I was going to die high in a robbery gone bad or doing life in jail or prison. I had accepted it. I started doing stuff their way to prove a point. This what y'all trying to sell in here don't work for everybody. I did that to prove a point. Next thing you know, man, I started experiencing some things, man. I started feeling good about the things I was doing on a daily basis. And for a long time, I did a lot of things that I did not feel good about. I did a lot of things I feel bad about. But I was noticing and I was feeling good about the things I was doing today. After that 30 days was up, man, I was feeling better about myself. I like those results because I wasn't feeling good about myself before I started doing it their way. I was riddled with doubt, fear, shame, regret, remorse. What's wrong with me? I was riddled with those thoughts. After that 30 days, I won't no longer consumed with those thoughts. Now I still beat myself up a little bit, but I felt better. And I like those results. So I kept on going, sorry, but I'm gonna keep going. Somehow word got around, man. Commonwealth attorney hears that I'm doing well in this program. I'm doing well in this program. Cricket, he sounds different. Cricket, he's acting different. I'm gonna argue the judge to give you 3 years and 4 months instead of the 5 years that he promised you. And I'm thinking, what? That's all right. I get 3 years and 4 months sounds like a lot to some of y'all, man. But there's a big difference between 3 years and 4 months and 5 years. A big difference. A lot happens in that last year and some change. And I'm thinking, man, I like them results. I'm doing it their way and I'm getting better results just like they said. Make a long story short, man, I kept on doing things their way, man. And I went in front of the judge. And by the time I got in front of the judge, that dude came with me, man. So I was doing so good in this program. He ended up coming to court with me. And he said some things I'd never heard anybody say. Don't get it twisted. I've had people take the stand on me before. But I ain't never had nobody take the stand for me. And this dude took the stand for me. And he said some things I already knew. Hey, Cricket does well in our program. He sits on the front row. He participates. He takes initiative and runs groups when there's no facilitator present. He said all those things, and I knew they were true because I was there. I did it. But then he said something I ain't never heard nobody say. He said, I believe in him. He said, I believe in him. And then he did something none of us was expecting. He pitched. He said, release him to my custody. I'll plug him into my recovery community. If he breaks a rule, y'all come get him. And the judge went for it. And I got out and I did something completely different than I've ever done. I got out and I went somewhere. I didn't go to mama's. I didn't go to the old ladies. I didn't go to the liquor store. I didn't go see the plug. I wanted to see if I could get better results on the street like I had been. I got the evidence that while I'm in jail, I'm liking the results from doing it y'all's way better than I like doing mine. I wanted to see what was in store for me on the street, so I kept doing it their way. I got out, I went straight to McShin. They picked me up. You know, that was August 15, 2015. And I ain't been back since. I have not been back since. My average on the street until then was 6 weeks. That was my average. Now, sometimes I'd be back tonight. A couple times I got out and got locked back up that night. Sometimes I woke up there, drunk, woke up in jail the next day. One time I made it for a month, but my average was about 6 weeks on the street. Now, I ain't the best at math, but 2015, August to October 2022, that's a good 7-year streak, huh? That I ain't been locked up. These recovery people come in to the jail and they told us 30 guys that, man, if you're in here for anything drug or alcohol related and you're tired of coming to jail, we know how to teach you how to get out and stay out. And here's my evidence. They've proven themselves to be right. I continue to do stuff somebody else's way, and I continue to get results that are far better than any guy could have ever got from doing my way, man. I gave my kids away. When they were babies, I gave them away, man, because I was too busy doing me. I wasn't able to be a father, man. I never had no home. I was always locked up or sleeping on somebody's couch or renting somebody's back bedroom for $50 a week. Some of the results that I've been getting from doing stuff somebody else's way, though, over these years, continue to blow my mind. I'm friends with the sheriff. Y'all, you could have never told me that in a million years, that I would call a sheriff by her first name and she would call me by a nickname. You could have never told me that. You could have never told me that a 9-time convicted felon, the judge deemed me a career criminal years ago. You could have never told me that I'd be able to walk in and out of any jail that I wanted to in this country. You couldn't have told me that. I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't have wanted to. I wouldn't have, not only would I not believed it, but I would have never, I ain't going to no jail. If they ever let me out, I ain't going back. I do this for a living now. I came to work for McShin, man. They asked me to come work for McShin, create, develop, implement, operate, and oversee jail programs just like the one that not only saved my life, but changed my life, man. You know, over the years, I got joint custody of my kids, man. I got a great relationship with my family. And my parents, not only do they answer the phone anytime I call, but they call me too. My stepmama called me earlier, man. I was on the phone with her for 30 minutes. I was at work, but I got a job that lets me do whatever I want to. His hearing aid's probably down, so he probably didn't hear that. I was actually praising you. It just sounded like I was making fun. Listen, I got a house that's my name on the lease. I pay for it. I rent it. I ain't able to buy a house yet. I've got a lot of damage I still got to fix with my credit and all that. But I got a couple vehicles that are registered legitimately to my name. I got out. I got to McShin, man. I was doing so good in McShin. They took me off papers. I've been on papers since 1994. 20 years I was on papers. They took me off papers. They gave me turnaround. After that, gave me my rights. I voted. I don't know who I voted for, but I voted because I could. For real, it was like some minor election or something. I just went in there, checked the boxes and fed it into the thing just because I could. Y'all, I don't feel good about a lot of things I did before I got out of my way. And that's normal. It's okay. But every day now, every single day now that I make a personal commitment to myself to just stay out my own way and keep doing it somebody else's way, man, 99% of the time I go to bed at night feeling good about the person I am today. Raise your hand. You ain't got to. I know some of y'all too tough. But raise your hand if you would like that. If you would like to go to bed at night feeling good about the person you are today, man. For real. It's so possible, man. It is so possible. Recovery is possible. Recovery is real. Recovery is accessible. You can do it. And more than that, more than the fact that you can do this, is you deserve it. You deserve it. No matter how much you got yourself believing otherwise, I'm telling you what they told me, you can and you deserve it. Can do better, and you owe it to yourself. You deserve it. Listen, I don't know how long you're going to be in here, man. You know, some of us got different court cases, and some of us keep getting the shit continued, and some of us got time coming, and some of us get out tomorrow, baby. But however long you in here, man, like if you get out and you tired of the results that you've been getting from doing things your way, man, just take my friendly advice, only because it was given to me like this. Not because I'm hard or tough, or I'm trying to sell y'all anything. But if you're tired of the results you've been getting from doing things your way thus far, when you get out, just get out your way for a little while. Just get out your own way for a little while, try out ours. Now, I said it sounds like I'm trying to sell you. No, I ain't. Because if you get out of here and you come into McShin and you sit down with us for an assessment, which takes about 5 minutes, and we determine that you're eligible to enter McShin, you ain't got to bring a penny. You ain't got to bring a penny. Like he said in the beginning, man, I didn't have a dime when I went to McShin. I know 1,000 other people that ain't have a dime when they went to McShin. A lot of them people are living lives better than they could have ever imagined, including me. Y'all get out of here and you want to try something different, man. You come to McShin, I'm the assistant director of operations. And it still blows my mind. That's pretty cool, man. Like one of y'all could be the next assistant director of operations. Y'all know what that means? President, CEO, COO, assistant director of operations. One of y'all could be the next one. I'm sure some of y'all are smarter than me. I know some of y'all are cooler than me. Get out your way for a little while, try out ours. Thanks for letting me share.
Hey, we good? Up and running? Test. Yep. Yeah. All right. Look, how'd y'all like that? We're gonna come in here hopefully every week, bring a different speaker. You know, touch all the bases, I guess. But y'all got any thoughts, comments, or questions for Cricket related to recovery? What we doing here? Now's your time. Like I said, go ahead.
I'm CJ.
Hey.
You said earlier that you know how to keep yourself from going back and to what you were doing, and you knew how to fight the cravings. What are you doing different to fight them?
That's actually
briefly now.
A great question. It's very simple for me. Like I surround myself with new people who have been in my shoes and are now walking in nicer shoes, and I lean on them. We call it our herd, our network, whatever. And the main thing that I do when that thing starts cranking up, and it does, yeah, I ain't fed it nothing in 5.5 years, but it's still alive. And when it cranks up and say, hey, Cricket, feed me, go do this dumb stuff, the first thing I do is tell on it. I tell on it to somebody in my good herd who cares about me and my recovery.
So people, places, and things, you know, you got to change your people, places, and things, man. If you go back where you come from, you're coming back. You know, and you got to tell on your disease.
Tell on that thing, man.
Is that mic working, Marshall?
I do. Yep, I do.
You know, there's multiple pathways in recovery. Got all kind of meetings, plenty of great recovery churches out there. I mean, trust me, you can find your herd. Whatever your pathway is, you can find it. It's a different world in 2022. Yes, sir.
Say, my name Devon. How you doing?
Hey, man.
I appreciate your story. I just want to know what kept you from being like petulant about your recovery. Like what kept you from being irritable?
I was mad. I had to sacrifice the love of my life. The love of my life was getting another one, like getting high or drunk. That was love I had to sacrifice. That I was mad about that. But I was so tired of the symptoms of my illness, man, that I was able to, like, say, man, you know what, man, my way sucks, man. Y'all just show me y'all's way. But I was tired of everybody else, like, not being locked up. I was tired of everybody else being fathers. I was tired of everybody else being sons. Like, I was tired of them doing good and me not. Like, I just was tired, man. Does that make sense? I was mad because I wanted to get high. I wanted to still do me. So I was mad. How did I deal with it? They told me stay in position. They told me keep putting, y'all said this, I remember it. Y'all said keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's what I did, man. Next thing you know, I started being less and less mad. I started being more and more grateful for the life that I was evolving into.
I tell you what helps me a lot is I like to eat what I want to eat when I want to eat it. I can't eat it in here, man.
That's true.
I like barbecue and all kind of cool kinds of foods, man. What else we got? Any other thoughts, comments, or questions? Fear relapse.
No, I don't, man. Because I've been practicing for many years now. I've been treating my illness like the professionals have been telling me to treat it. As a result, I've suffered minimal symptoms. One of the symptoms of my illness is relapse. I haven't suffered that symptom in over 5.5 years.
In the back.
I do, both. I do. My sponsor got 17 years in recovery. I got 5.5. He's been sponsoring me for 9 years. I ain't been clean for 9 years.
How many sponsors you got?
One.
One?
Yeah.
You better get busy, boy.
Well, I got 3, but 2 of them ain't doing nothing.
They don't call. I got it.
So they
How
on
many y'all
sponsors
ever had
and
a
they
sponsor
ain't doing no work.
before? Y'all had sponsors before? Yeah, y'all got to use those guys. I mean, that's like, why cheat yourself out the best friend you'll ever have? Brandon ain't got nothing to say. He's too embarrassed.
Marshall tried to force one on him. Marshall cares about his recovery and his well-being. He tried to force feed him. I can't hear you, Con. The gifts of recovery. The gifts keep me motivated. Every day I set up a personal goal to grow. I want to be better today than I was yesterday. I want to be better than I was 10 years ago. And every day, as long as I set that goal, man, and do whatever I can to reach it for that day, I go to bed at night feeling good about my day. That's new to me, Connor. Like, this is relatively new to me. Yeah, I've been doing it for a few years now. But going to bed at night feeling good about the person I am is new. That's still new to me. For decades, I was not all right with the person I was. That's what motivates me. It keeps getting better. The longer I stay in it, the better it gets.
You know, if you think back on all the consequences active addictions cause you, once you get some recovery consequences, the good stuff, you really, that's motivation. Who wants to go back when you can go forward? The recovery high is better than the drug high, and the recovery high is progressive. Mm-hmm. You're never going to get so high using drugs. But the recovery high, man, it just gets better and better and better. Nobody gets clean to be miserable. I promise you that. You ain't gonna stay with it long. You got a hand back?
When I came in here, one of the first things I do is look at the age. I always say you got to know your audience. I look at the age. Reality is we have been some places, man, where I see dudes 65 years old. I got caught, shared this with Ricky earlier, got caught trying to push groceries out of Walmart. Again. You know, when you realize the gifts versus the consequences, I take the gifts. Because when I was out there using, I thought I ain't gonna be doing this when I'm 50 years old. It is only a small few that can put down a cigarette, put down the drug, put down the alcohol, never to pick it up again. A small few, less than 1%. The rest of us, including me, we need help in dealing with this disease of addiction.
Exactly. Hey. Huh?
What is your biggest reward?
Man, my family, man. My family. I got babies, man. When they were born, I experienced love like none other. Like, I cannot put into words the feeling I felt when they were born. I love them. I truly do. But this other thing that I had going on, I must have loved it more because they was on the back burner to it. I had put my children on the back burner to my doing me. And to have that back, not thinking I would ever get it back, not thinking I would ever want it back, I'm just keeping it real. But to have that, my kids look up to me. My kids trust me. My kids want to come to daddy's this weekend. That, man.
Something you said about that voice in your head that screams for more. I have that same voice in my head. I come from a long line of addicts. I destroy everything I touch. I feel like I'm a cancer to this world. So I just want to say thanks for sharing what you did, because a lot of what you said, I can relate to it a lot. Like, I've just been pondering my head over and over about that voice, because I struggle from that same thing. I'm a chronic relapser, chronic come back to jail person myself, in and out. And I always get in my own way too. So I just want to say thanks for what you shared. I just been thinking about it over and over. Thank you.
Hey, look, y'all, man, look, I know some of y'all are really grateful that we came in here tonight. But the truth is, I don't want y'all to get twisted, man. We're the grateful ones. That's the truth.
You know,
we appreciate y'all letting us come in here, man, and get back.
Absolutely. But let me add, you know, you got to do the work to lose those voices like that. Because I believe I'm just a recovering derelict, to be honest with you. You know, I was that low as a new person when I found recovery. But now my voices are, hey, man, you got to get out there and help guys. You got to, you know, carry that message of hope, you know, and that's what works. We find purpose in recovery. That purpose replaces those negative voices in our past behavior. And my purpose is I'm a hope dealer. I carry that message of hope. That's why I'm in here on a Tuesday night, late at night, missing dinner. You know, I got a beautiful wife, a nice house, one dog's kind of cute. The other one will bite the hell out of you.
She will, man.
Yeah, she'll bite you. But we got purpose. You guys got it in you to have purpose. Once you tap into that purpose, I mean, the sheriff, more than the sheriff, how many sheriffs you know hang out at a meeting like this on Tuesday nights? I mean, you're surrounded by people with purpose, and purpose is contagious, and this is good quality purpose. So you guys are at the right place tonight, whether, you know, unusual circumstances getting here, you're getting a hope shot tonight. So, but that was a great, I like that, because, I mean, that's exactly how I was.
My name is Brandon, and I just wanted to say, first, I want to say thank you for coming in and sharing, bringing me back a lot of memories right here from, you know, when we were in a monkey.
Would he turn it off?
Nope.
Well, we want the folks to hear you, though. It's the microphone, man.
Keep going, Brandon.
We know you're such a proliferating.
What? A prolific speaker.
You're right.
Yeah. So that being said, man, you brought back so many memories when you were sharing. I've walked with you through these steps, and to see you doing this, it's amazing. You know, man, like a lot what Josh said. These people in here, right here, I've been in here for about a month. We don't, the groups in here, you know what I'm saying? Like to actually have a recovery oriented group where everyone's quiet and focused on this, it's amazing. It's really, it's amazing. And that's what I came here for this time. I've been through the motions of that. What I wanted to ask, though, real quick, if you could briefly just describe to these people what it's like getting out and actually transitioning from bed to bed. Because I don't think a lot of them have a lot of experience with that in here, doing that. They don't know the process of it. They don't know the experience of it. I think you could break it down real quick.
Yeah, but you know as much, you know better. Anybody in here that experience, so I'm designated. Raise your right hand. I'm deputizing you the peer to explain to all these guys how this works, man.
That's actually a good answer, man. Like, look, y'all, but we ain't gotta like everybody in this room, man. But we all, you know, the majority of us in here tired. We're tired of the symptoms. We're tired of the consequences, and a lot of us in here secretly want to do something different when we get out. And if you think you want to come to McShin and move into our program or our sober living beds, man, it's a couple guys in here. Brandon's one of them that knows what that process looks like, man. Y'all go to him. He ain't gonna mislead you on those answers.
Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Giovanni, and my question was, how do you go about fixing the damage in the trust between the family after you get out?
It's a great question, man. Sometimes the best way to fix it is to not touch it. Sometimes the best way, most of the things in my life, that all the bridges that have been repaired and the new bridges that have been built have just happened by default from me living different. That's the truth, man. Like, something is ingrained in me to where I want to fix, manage, and control everything on this planet.
And it's a process. It don't happen overnight,
Overnight.
But it begins with willingness, honesty, willingness, recovery, and it's a process takes place. And most family situations, they do come full circle and they do get healed. So that, I think it's wonderful that you tapped into that tonight and you would ask that question, because that's telling me you're a wonderful prospect for long-term recovery. You know, you're thinking right. By being in this unit, in this nice carpeted recovery unit, is allowing you the opportunity to start focus on some real important stuff. And you don't get that in a lot of facilities in Virginia, you know. So like Brandon was saying earlier, you guys are blessed to have this opportunity. And I can tell it's working. So I look forward to coming back here week after week and developing relationships with you and people like you, because I think that's what we're about. You know, that's a wonderful question there.
I just want to add this. When you start fixing you,
yeah,
things around you start to get fixed. I don't know.
You don't know. That might work.
It's working. Yeah. When you start fixing you, when you stop lying so much, you know, stop trying to deceive so much, stop doing underhanded stuff so much, you know, people around you start to respond to you differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes, sir.
My name is Al. I have one question for you. Since I've been locked up, I experienced a great loss. I lost my wife, and I lost my brother, and I lost my sister within 45 days of being locked up. You know, I know now that when I put myself in this program, I know that I wanted help But I'm afraid that when I go out there, that all this remorse and all this things that I went through, that gonna come back on me and drive me back to my old ways. I mean, do you have a suggestion of how I should approach the situation?
Absolutely. Immediately upon your release, seek out, identify, and seek out and latch on to a group of individuals who have been in your shoes and are now walking in nicer shoes, who also care about you and your recovery. That's what you do. And if you don't know where to start looking for people like that, you come to McShin, man. And anybody in this state of Virginia knows where McShin is, including the sheriff and all her staff. They know exactly where McShin is. And if you find yourself in McShin, we'll help you identify that herd, man. And we'll walk through it with you.
Because you laid the roadmap out there that you could have been listening to yourself. This is what I need. Why? Because grief is going to take me somewhere where I don't want to go. You know? And like you said, you seek that out. You know? Seek that out. Like he mentioned too. Don't try to do it your way. Do it somebody else's way. You know, do it through suggestions. You know?
I'm sorry for your loss,
Me
man.
too, man.
But if you're going to be in a secure environment, I'm glad you're in this one and not some of the others out there. Because at least I know you got a team here. You got these fellows here. I know you do your groups here, and I hope y'all are supporting one another through this time. So
good, man.
You know, you guys, you can make this the best recovery environment in a correctional facility in America. I know you can. You know, if you can make it in here and make this maximize the outcome of everybody's efforts on this program here, this can be the one America wants to model after. And be frank with you, that's one of my personal goals, to see to it that the best recovery support services inside a correctional facility happen in my home state of Virginia, and to include appropriate reentry support services upon reentry. You know, so that's our life mission. That's the McShin's mission. The sheriff's fully on board with that mission. So this is a turning point, not only in the war on drugs in America, but the barriers that have prevented recovery from proliferating as such. So we're all working together here to really turn this ship around. So welcome to our world, gang. Sheriff, you got anything before we close out?
Feels to sit back and listen to Cricket, and he is one of my faves. I did not know Cricket's history. I met Cricket in recovery, and he is so willing to share, and seeing how him sharing, how that touches, how that impacts. I watched the room. I'm a people watcher by nature, 24 years, and I watched some of the walls come down as he started sharing, and people started connecting to the things that he was saying. Because like we are so passionate and committed to you, we already bought in. We got to get you to buy in.
Yeah.
All right. And we are committed to helping you and continuing this. This is only the beginning. And we can pour everything into this that we have in our heart and souls, from our head to our souls. But if you don't buy in, if you don't believe like we believe that you are the best person in the world and you have the opportunity to have anything your heart desires, then no amount of time, no people that I can bring in here can get you there. You got to believe like we believe. And with that, I pass.
Thanks, Sheriff.
All right, gang, let's wrap it up here. We're so glad we came to you live from the RISE program here in Virginia, and we'll meet y'all probably within a week again. Good job. Another hand for Cricket.